Hi guys, it's me Erika, and so with summer coming around very soon, conventions are going to start to pile up, and for me that convention that's actually coming really soon is at the end of May is Con 2016, and I decided to do a video just to tell you guys how to maybe what to bring to a convention and also some tips with managing your convention time and how to have fun, I guess. And there's probably loads of videos out there already explaining this, but I thought maybe you wanted to know how to manage your con time better, or also if this is your first convention, some tips. And yeah, and I am only speaking from a commuter standpoint. That means that I just travel back and forth through a car to go to conventions such as Anime, so I don't have any hotel experience, and if you're looking for that, this is not the video. And there's probably loads out there, so you can check those out. So enough of my rambling and let's get started. So first, for the things that you should probably bring to convention, the first thing that's probably the most important, well, not really most important, but it's up there, is actually a bag, a reasonable size bag. This is the bag I usually bring, and it's covered in pins that I brought to the convention, but I bought at conventions. But it doesn't have to be that kind of bag, but just a bag that will be able to hold all your stuff, whether it be your wallet, some snacks, and all the stuff you're probably gonna buy at the convention. And it's helpful just so that you're not lugging everything around, and if you are wearing cosplay, all of your stuff is just not lying on the floor. Another thing that's important with that is that if you are going with friends and you don't bring a bag, tendency is that you give your stuff to your friends, and your friends don't want to hold all that stuff for you all the time if it's just all a mess, and they kind of become the human pack mule. And I've been in that situation where I had a friend who was a cosplayer, never brought a bag, gave all the stuff to me to hold all the time. She got asked for pictures, and I just told her, you know what, you need to bring a bag because I'm not holding all that stuff for you. And I didn't really mind. The only problem is that it was just cluttered all the time, and it just happened all the time. And if you do have a bag, it's way easier. It's just that they're holding one thing as opposed to like probably 10 items, maybe like six boxes of figures, of 5 posters, your wallet, etc. It's just way easier to do that, and also it holds all your other stuff. Another item you probably want to put in that bag is a small makeup bag. And when I say small, I literally mean a small makeup bag with only the makeup essentials you need, just in case that your makeup gets messed up during the convention. And you probably don't want to be lugging around a 2-decker case of makeup, because you probably don't need that unless you're staying at a hotel and doing the makeup there. But at the con floor, you probably just want your essentials, such as maybe like eyeliner, lipstick, of course, because that one is the one that usually gets ruined, eyelash glue if you're wearing fake eyelashes, and mascara. And just having that small bag makes life easier and also doesn't take too much space. For the most part, that's all you really need. You don't need to overcompensate. Another thing that's probably the most important thing you're gonna have to bring to the con is your wallet, and in your wallet should be cash, mostly cash, and also your ID. If you are pre-registered, they will need your ID to check if that is actually you. And for the money issue, money usually is the thing that a lot of the dealers in the dealer's room and the artists in the artist room accept, even though a lot of the dealers and some of the artists have been accepting debit cards and credit cards lately, just because they have that special card reader that they can attach to their phone. But for the most part, money is what they accept. And I also find that a lot easier, just because you can actually manage how much you spend and see how much you spend and how much you spend. So another thing that you should probably pack in your bag is snacks, water, or even a lunch. The one thing I found about being a commuter that commutes to convention is that you're able to bring a hefty lunch, and it can be a sandwich, and it can even be like rice and maybe like a beef product, and that's way easier because you actually get full, you save money to spend at the con, and etc. And if you do have to eat out, usually you only have to eat out once, because you usually eat breakfast at home, pack a lunch, and then if you do stay that late, you get dinner, but it's way cheaper that way. And in hotels, I don't know if you can really do that. It depends on the hotel you stay at, but sometimes in hotels there's not really a refrigerator to keep all that food, so you can't really pack a lunch. But definitely you can pack snacks to kind of ease your way through the convention, because food there is really expensive. Like, they make maybe like a churro $5 when in reality it should just be like $1.50 or something like that. And water too, water bottles at the convention are like $3, and you do not want to spend that much money on water. Or you can, because water, if there's a water fountain at the convention, you should probably just bring your own water bottle and then fill it up there, so you don't have to spend money on that. Another thing you should bring to the convention is a camera. And I know there's a camera usually on every phone now, but the tendency with the camera on the phone is that you don't really look at the photos after. And sometimes if you're running low on storage because you didn't take out the photos from the last con you went to, you will awkwardly say, hold on to the cosplayer and say, I have to delete stuff. And it's way easier to do a camera because the pictures, most part, look way nicer. You'll probably look at them more just because you have to take them out of the camera. And you don't waste battery on your phone where you have to like stay in contact with your parents or your friends that are in the convention that you get separated from. So it's way easier to bring a camera. Not way easier, but it's way more convenient to bring a camera so you can vlog or take pictures of your whole convention experience. And one final thing that I bring in my bag sometimes is a Ziploc bag, and mainly the Ziploc bag is to hold pins or keychains that you buy at the convention from Artist Alley or Dealer's Hall, because when you're paying for your items, sometimes you just throw the pins and the keychains in the bag, and sometimes they get lost or they even get ruined because of that. So it's way easier just to put it on a Ziploc bag so it's organized when you take it out. And some artists are really nice, and if you buy stuff from them, they usually give you a free bag anyways. So that is a good thing to know. So moving on to the tips on how to enjoy your convention. One major tip I have is to look at the event schedule beforehand. Most conventions, at least for anime, they put their event schedule before the actual con happens, just so that they kind of know when things are happening, so you know what also happens. And the thing with planning is that you might not be able to go to all these events, but if there's an event you really want to go to, say an autograph signing, when it's happening and when to go, because with a lot of autograph signings at conventions, they're first come first serve, so usually you have to be there an hour before the actual event starts. So if you plan that before and know that, hey, Christina V is signing at 2 and she's really popular, so you probably want to get there at 1. But if you didn't know that beforehand, and then you finally realize it at 1:45 p.m., you might not be able to get that autograph from Christina V because they do cut off the time limit for that. So it's easier to plan, even though you might not be able to go to all of the events you kind of want to go to. So another tip I have is to actually go to the cosplay gatherings. And that sounds like a no-brainer at a convention since you're always surrounded by cosplayers. But when I was attending cons, when I was like probably in my first or second year of the convention scene, I said, why should I go to the gatherings? Because I'm already seeing them. But don't do that, because you make tons of friends at gatherings, especially if you're dressed up in a cosplay and go to that specific cosplay gathering, because you're bound to have something in common to talk to and you can fangirl together about the anime or your costumes. But also go to other cosplay gatherings that you find an interest in. Maybe you like Miraculous Ladybug, but you're not in that cosplay, but you just like the show when you want to see cosplayers. Tendency is that you'll probably talk to one of them and even like, what is it called? Talk to the people that are taking pictures of them and maybe even strike a friendship, because I've made a lot of friends that way. Another tip I have is to actually share your photos that you're taking at the convention online on social media. I already do that, but when I was in early years of the convention scene, I only shared them on Facebook. But the problem with just sharing them on Facebook is the people that are bound to see them are only your friends at school and your family members. So try to share them on sites such as Twitter and Tumblr, where a lot of different people can see them. And then especially on Tumblr, try to do the tags of the convention you went to. A lot of people that are cosplayers will go to these sites and type in the Anime 2016 tag, trying to find pictures of themselves or pictures of cosplayers that they saw but they couldn't get a picture of, and it's just a way to tag yourself in a photo that someone has taken, and that's pretty cool just because you get in touch with the cosplayer, and sometimes a friendship kind of brews off scene. I made a friend that way, in where I was dressed in my cosplay and I took a picture with a Ray, and what happened was that she actually found that picture on Tumblr and then we just started talking. So that could happen if you put your pictures online. So one of the second to last tips I have is to not spend your money all at once on one day, unless you're just going one day, and if that's the case then go ahead, but try not to spend all your money on one day, just because if it's a 4-day convention, you don't want to be broke on the first day. So what I like to do with that is that my wallet has 2 compartments. So I keep the money that I have for the con in one compartment, and then switch some of that money to the other compartment for what I'm allowed to spend that day. And of course, if there's an emergency or if there's something I really want, at least the money is there. But then I also know what my budget is. And as I said before, a lot of conventions only accept money as in like dollar bills. And I find that way more helpful because you can actually physically see how much money you're spending, and then when you open your wallet and notice, yeah, there's no more money in there, you're probably gonna know that you shouldn't spend any more money, as opposed to if you got a credit card or a debit card and you use it at the con. You're not gonna know immediately how much, well, you are gonna know how much you paid, but then you're gonna think that you still have money on that card. And then when you go home and check your bank statement, or when they send you the bank statement, you're like, oh wait, I didn't realize I've been spending that much money when I was at the con. So it's way easier to have physical money and etc. And I guess one final tip I have is just to enjoy the con. If above anything else, do the best to your ability to actually go out there and experience what you want, and maybe buy stuff. And I don't know if it was just me, but I do like vlogging at conventions, and I'll probably do that at Fanime, but don't make it take over your life that you're missing what's right in front of you. So with vlogging, I find it, at least for me, that sometimes you're so focused on trying to get everything that you only live through it through the screen and not out there. So try your best if you're vlogging. I mean, that's pretty cool, but take time to also enjoy the con yourself, because you did pay a lot of money to go to that con. You paid a lot of money for the items at that con, so you kind of want to experience for yourself. And it's really cool, the end product of the vlog, and also just to see what you've done, but don't let it take over your con experience, is just what I'm trying to say. And with that is all I have for the tips and what to bring, and I hope it helped you. If it did, I'm glad, because I don't know, I'm just glad. I like helping people, and if it didn't, I'm really sorry. And if this video is awkward, I'm sorry about that too, but I'm just a really awkward person. But yes, hopefully these tips did help you, and my hope is that your convention experience, if you will be going to a convention, will be really fun. I mean, don't be scared if it's your first one. It's very overwhelming at first, but you are in a safe space for the most part, because these people are mostly like you. They share the same interests as you. So yes, that is all. Thank you guys so much for watching, and see you next time. Bye!